Okay, guys, back with another one for you here as promised. And as luck would have it here today, I have an opportunity to show you something brand new from Seiko in Asia. And it will certainly make its way into the Western world here in the coming days. I'm not even sure if I'm the first person to get it up. I haven't had any time to check. You can see here I've got some great shots of Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. A really fascinating town, really interesting urban planning, transportation, really modern place. You can really tell Southeast Asia is booming when you visit a city like this, because there are any number of projects that have been developed and are just extraordinary. Very interesting city, to be sure. And of course, Kuala Lumpur, famous for being the home of the Petronas Twin Towers, which you will see here on the tail end of this quick little run through. But a great place, a lot of terrific malls, great food for sure, and nightlife was there for a number of days. Really, really terrific spot. For those of you guys who are fans of the channel, are subscribed from Malaysia, definitely leave me a comment below in the video. But what we have here today, coming up very soon here, is something very new, as you have probably seen it in your feed. But I do have a number of great watches that I have been able to see recently, and I'll make mention of them here. One you can see here, the Seiko bottle cap. A great variation of this. I actually was able to shoot all of these, the entire line, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully we'll get that up on the channel soon. Really cool. Vintage Citizen model here, automatic stainless steel. I love the brushing and the design of this case, the dial layout. Very cool vintage piece I was able to see. And speaking of vintage, here is a terrific vintage Seiko S-Wave from the 90s. Very, very quirky. Love where they are putting the day and date there at 4 o'clock. Signed crown, solid case, solid links. The band, very interesting. True 90s quirky design. You can't beat that from Seiko. And another great Seiko piece here. Seiko 5. You know, these things, you can find them on eBay for under $100. They're just super. Really love it. And here is a Quartz digital vintage piece I found in a thrift store. You can get these also. They come up often on a place like eBay. Great deals on them. Look for different levels of condition. They are super. And here is a recent acquisition, one of my all-time favorites. Really a grail piece. Another 90s vintage Seiko AGS Landmaster. In the coming days, I'll probably do a little bit of a roundup on these. I've got a couple in my collection, and they're some of my favorite watches. And I know a lot of guys say, hey, the kinetic movement is maybe not something I want to deal with in my collection because you got to kind of babysit it, but they're terrific. And this one here, I just added to my collection, a modern rendition of the Seiko Golden Tuna. And here's some Citizen. I got to say something, guys. Coming up soon on the channel, Citizen is due for a video. Stay tuned for that. And here, a little bit of a sneak peek of what's coming. I'm going to do a comparison of these two terrific Citizen divers. Stay tuned for that. And you can see there the Instagram account that I've got for this channel. Go ahead and take a look. Please subscribe if you want to see what's going on. Okay, here we go. Let's not wait any further. Get a look at these guys right here. They are the Seiko Mini Turtle. And again, we have got a Seiko Zimbe variation, both a yellow and a green. And you can see here with these Zimbe limited editions here in Asia, they are really striking. And wow, this yellow is something else to behold in person. Really a gorgeous dial treatment. An extraordinary pattern that they've chosen here. It reminds me of a lot of things. A couple of people whom I was with today said it looked a little bit like Sakura Blossom in Bloom. Also, Japanese watercolor of fish. You know, usually you see the way the paint is done for the scales of the fish. Something there. There's a lot going on. Some could say that this is waves. Boy, there's a lot of ways to look at this dial, but you can see they really are gorgeous up close here in the video, and in person even better. And I've got to say, the yellow one really is something. And I haven't seen a yellow come from Seiko now in quite a while that looks quite like this. This is a different kind of yellow than I have seen in some of their other pieces in the past. So it definitely is something that if you are looking for a special edition, this would be one to look for. Okay, so you can see here we've got the Hardlex Crystal there with the Cyclops over the date window. The main thing with this one here is you've got a smaller version of the movement with the traditional turtle, the 4R35, which is scaled down. The crown is moved up to 3 o'clock, and you do only have a date complication, no day and date like you do with the normal Seiko Turtle, the SRP version. You can see here, really beautiful brushed and polished case, the same as you would find with some of the other models. But I got to say, this yellow and black bezel, contrasting with that and the really terrific silicone strap, is great. This is a limited edition of 999 per version here. So there are only 999 versions for each one for the world. So if you're really interested in, you have the interest in these limited editions, this is definitely one to look for as soon as you see this video. If you see it close to around the time of the release date, you've got a good chance to get a hold of one of these when they make their way up onto the web. Take a look. You can see here, this one does have a 41-hour power reserve, so it's approximately the same in terms of the power of the 4R36 caliber movement. Very similar. I love the back of these. You can see they always put the signification of the limited edition, the whale shark, and of course the Seiko Tsunami Wave. And screw down crown there at 3. This does stick out a little bit. Some guys have expressed in comments on the video did of the original Mini or Baby Turtle that they would have liked to have seen it more recessed or crown guards, but I actually don't mind it. It's not bad. It does screw in very snug there on the side of the case, and I think it works quite well, and don't find that it digs into my wrist with these. There's the green, just looking gorgeous. I don't know, this one here, again, a muted green, not too bright. Actually, very kind of middle of the road. You can see here right next to my original Seiko Zimbe Turtle, which I brought along to do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison of the case design. Definitely bigger, and you can see on the wrist, this one only measures about 42.3 millimeters. You can see here on the right there, the SRP version is 44.3, and it really does present much bigger on the wrist than the Mini or Baby Turtle. And it's only 13 millimeters tall, so about a millimeter less, with a 20 millimeter lug width for your straps, NATO, and what have you, whatever you might find in the aftermarket. It is very easy to do on any number of wrist sizes, but I am at 7 and about 7 1/4, a little bit north of that, and I find it is substantial on my wrist, not overpowering. So if you've got a smaller wrist size, this is a great one to look for. If you have been waiting to get one of these, well, this is the time to try and grab a much more kind of pops. It really does pop compared to some of the ones with the matte black dial. Really interesting configuration. And you can see here, we've got the 120 click unidirectional diver's bezel there. Really nice positive clicks. This one really zeroes in nicely, lines up great. I like the fitment of this. Everything looked good. The tolerances really felt rock solid. The green one actually on this one looked a little bit off, but I saw about 6 of these and they almost all looked terrific. Although I will be talking in the future about going to the Seiko Service Center and seeing what they might do for adjusting your chapter ring. Stay tuned for that. Anyway, I'll tell you what, this is probably one of the more exciting looking releases. I have to tell you, though, a couple of things would be nice to have seen. I would have liked to have seen on the dial limited edition. I would have liked to have seen sapphire, because if you look down there on the right of the watch mat, that original Seiko Zimbe Turtle, that one has sapphire and has, you can see here in the shot, has those things. Does have the candy bar, wide cyclops. It has the limited edition on the dial with the Prospex X up north there near the Seiko. Well, you can see with the Baby or Mini, you kind of have that little Christmas tree with the Prospex X kind of like the star at the bottom. A little bit of a pyramid down there, and there's some good symmetry there, but a lot of guys do like to have limited edition on the dial so that you can see that on your watch. Well, I'll tell you guys, this is an excellent and very interesting new release. I heard that it was coming, but I really didn't get a sense of it until I finally got my eyes on these. You do see these are, in fact, a true 200-meter diver. They do everything you need them to do in the water. If you really do scuba dive and you aren't just going to keep these to enjoy them on land as a collector, they will do the job for sure. They've got the stuff, and they really are ISO 6425 compliant. So that's something to look for. If you really do want a real diving watch, these are great, and all of the standard versions are great. You can see great brushed buckle there. The keeper is also brushed. I love these. I mean, these straps are absolutely supple and soft, standard with the Turtles now, and they really do a nice job with these silicone straps. Looks great on the wrist. I mean, you can just see the profiling here on the wrist. On my wrist, it's extremely doable. This is a watch you can wear much more often than you realized, considering that it is a tool watch. Here's the secret here. Well, I got it for myself, so there you go. And this is a loom shot. I shot this in a bright environment on a balcony at night, so it's kind of a little bit of both. You can still see the beautiful contrast of the yellow dial with that Lumibright and the loom pip as well. Nice and bright, even in bright light after several minutes since I put a flashlight over it. So great looking loom that shines bright into the night, and it's readable into the wee hours of the morning. Well, guys, what do you think about this new release? A lot of guys have been saying that these limited editions kind of frustrate them because there are only so many and they'd love to get their hands on them. Well, it's a marketing thing for Seiko, and in Southeast Asia and Asia in general, the idea is to excite the collectors, excite new customers into looking for Seiko watches. But I definitely identify with that frustration, because there are watches that I've been looking for a long time and have had no luck in tracking them down. Okay, you can see these really are stunners, and I'd love to hear what you think. Is this one that you'd want to get into your collection? Which one? Is it going to be the green, or is it going to be the yellow? I have to say, for me, the yellow was so interesting and different than anything I'd seen recently. I have seen a couple of terrific green watches. If you look on my Instagram, they are on there. They've done some nice ones, but the yellow was just so unique and different, and one that I just thought if I was going to get one of these in my collection, that was going to be the one. Okay, guys, well, you can see here, leaving you with some shots looking out over the Petronas Twin Towers at night. Really spectacular buildings in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Just an amazing place. Had a great time. Please leave comments below. Guys, subscribe if this is your first time seeing things on the channel. I actually have several things in the pipeline. I've got a chance now this year to pick up the pace, and I'm hoping to bring you a lot more. Not just from Seiko, Citizen, Japanese stuff of all kinds, but also other watch brands as well that I haven't touched in the recent future here. So we're going to do it very, very soon. Okay, guys, I will talk to you soon.